So how did you handle cleanliness, i.e. housework, washing dishes, washing clothes, bathing and showering, etc., bathrooms?
Well, we had we had a tin bath in the yard which we used to bring into the scullery
Okay.
and fill with kettles and
That must have taken forever.
water. Yes, it did, for bathing. But you only bathed about once a week because of all the fuss. And washing up was easy.
Just sluicing a few things off in cold water in the sink, I guess.
No. You boiled a kettle.
So what about like things like washing up liquid and
Well, you use soda,
soda? Okay.
which wasn't very good for your hands, but
Oh, you can still get soda now, can't
Yeah.
you? Soda crystals, isn't it? Okay. So so bathing was down to once a week. So what did you do for like perfumes and smellies and things like that? Because I presume, or did people just walk around reeking?
I don't know.
I suppose at that stage you was just still been quite young, so you
Yes, I
wasn't
was
sort of
quite
been worried about things like that. So okay, so
We
water.
we didn't change clothes so often, so that washing, although it was a big job and took all of Monday.
It was always Monday, was it?
Yes,
Everybody did their washing on a Monday.
Yes, we didn't sort of change every day, like you do these days.
I was going to say, you always put a clean t-shirt on every day and stuff, don't we now? Okay, so another one of Christine's questions was where do we get water from? Well, that was from a tap in the
From
kitchen.
a cold tap, yes.
Okay. So finally, Christine's question was, how did your mum live while a war was going on outside your door? She would imagine living without electricity during wartime is different from living without electricity during peacetime.
Well, not really.
No?
What you don't have, you don't miss.
That's true. Or what you haven't known,
you don't
miss.
Yeah, that's right.
I suppose the thing is, though, once you've had it, you kind of will then miss it.
Well, yes, you would miss it. Yes.
Okay, so let's move on, and this is a bunch of questions from Jed Design, and they say your mum has been around to see the world drastically change.
Say that again.
I bet she knows so many things that we have lost because of all this technology. It's good we still have some of them around to help us figure this out again. Okay, so a few questions here. Today we are used to going to the store and buying a packet of beef or chicken, or at least one meal of that day. What was it like before the war? What other things did you eat?
Well, we used to eat rabbit and chicken. We used to keep chickens in the back garden.
So would you know somebody who
Eels?
Really?
Yes,
Ooh.
they used to. We used to have a horse and cart come round and sell fish, including eels, live eels.
Lovely.
Which my gran used to prepare. I don't know how. I wouldn't know how to prepare them, but she used to make quite a tasty meal of them.
Fair enough.
And she used to skin rabbits and goodness knows what. And I
She's
didn't
quite a
live
gal,
in the
that one.
country. I lived in London.
Yeah. So
Believe it or not.
So what about rabbits? Was it a case of somebody coming round?
That's
Somebody
right,
caught them,
yes.
or was it a shop job or a butcher's shop?
Someone came round with a cart, with a horse and cart, and sold them.
All right.
Um,
Cool. You never get that these days with living
No.
health and safety and all that.
It's a wonder we didn't all die of food poisoning according to today's standards, but we didn't.
So, all right. How did you preserve food before everyone had refrigerators and freezers?
Well, we used to shop more often, and we used to have a cold bit in the larder and a meat safe outside, which was all very well in the winter, but it wasn't so good in the summer.
I suppose it would have acted like a warming-uppy thing, wouldn't it? I suppose.
in the summer, yes. But in the winter it was pretty good.
Okay, next one's from Mark, from England. and he says, "Hi, Rick and Rick's mum. What a great idea! I love talking to people who lived during the war, and I would like to ask the following questions. When were you most frightened during the war? Most frightened during the war?"
When I saw a barrage balloon on fire, I didn't know what it was, and it was coming down to near where I was. When I realised what it was, I wasn't frightened anymore. Most of the time I was angry, not frightened.
Really?
Yes.
Because why was you angry?
Because they'd ruined my dinner and things like that.
Oh, well, Jerry was coming over
Yes,
bombing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, V2s.
Right.
That's when I went back to live in London.
So just to confirm, what's a barrage balloon that you saw?
A barrage balloon, well, they were everywhere. The idea was to stop airplanes coming low to bomb or whatever.
Right. So like big helium-filled balloons.
That's
that were,
right, yes.
Or I suppose it'd be hydrogen-filled.
Wherever
balloons,
you've got a park or something, you had a barrage balloon, at least one.
Mm.
And
so the aircraft couldn't come down.
I mean, this was completely non-evasive, but it frightened me because I didn't know what it was.
So it just like burst into flame and just kind of came.
Well,
crashing down.
I looked up and saw this flame in the sky, and I had no idea what it was.
So,
That's the only time I remember being really frightened.
so that would have been, I suppose, that must have meant it was filled with hydrogen, because helium isn't flammable, is it? I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know what it was
but,
filled with.
But,
All I know, they flew and they were a common sight.
right. Okay. So that was the only time, but the rest of the time we were just like really peed off at Jerry kind of disrupting your life.
Yeah.
And because I know you said about you had a dinner, well, you just prepared a Sunday
That's
dinner.
right. My mother had gone to Warsaw, and it was just my father and I there. And I'd prepared a nice dinner for him with blackberries from the garden and goodness knows what. And the windows all blew in.
Well, while you was in the house?
What? No, we were in the shelter at the time. And we knew this thing had dropped pretty close, but it missed us. So it blew the windows in and we couldn't eat any of the food. And I was so cross.
Was you like shaking your fist at the sky? Like, bloody Jerry! Okay, so another question from Mark was, how did it feel when the war ended? Were there street parties?
Well, there was dancing in the street and goodness knows what. I don't know.
For many days?
I was in the ATS at the time. A VJ. I think I actually joined up on VE Day.
So you signed up to join the ATS on the day?
No, I didn't. I got my instructions to travel to Pontefract,
Alright.
which was a training camp.
On the day that Hitler surrendered?
Yes. He saw me coming.
You heard it here, folks. My mum signed up to join the ATS and Hitler surrendered that very day. It was like, that's it, I can't take any more.
No, I'd signed up several weeks before.
Okay, so those were Mark. Thanks for your questions, Mark. Okay, this one's from The Real Zacharo. These are all YouTube names. Did you ever get frustrated with non-existent communication, like sending a letter to a member of family must have taken ages?
No, it was much quicker than it is today.
Really?
Really?
How does that work then?
Eh?
How does that work? Are you talking about the post?
How it works, but the postman used to come quite regularly.
So do you think it's a good thing that text messaging, instant messaging and mobile phones are around now for anyone to use?
Not necessarily.
What is that then?
Well,
It's like information overload, I suppose.
I often think that yes, information overload, like you say.
Well, that's interesting.
Mhm.
So, because it can be instantly getting in touch with somebody by text or phone or whatever, it can be
invasive.
Yeah, that's the word. We've had what is your favourite piece of technology, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which was electricity. And have you got like an absolute favourite, like one thing you couldn't live without now?
Not really. I've been poor before. I can be poor again, with goods and money.
Fair play. I like that spirit. That's great. Okay, this one's from Mike Cat. Mike Cat 23. And a blooming aeroplane. This is the trouble we get with these blooming aeroplanes. They take off over the road there and they do the parachuting.
I know, but it still sounds, even if you've got the window shut.
Yeah, a nice day, and all you get is this constant. It's really annoying.
Never mind.
Never mind. Such is life. Okay, this is from Mike Cat 23, and he says, "Would you give up today's life and return back to the old ways? You would have to give up everything and not be selective."
Not voluntarily, but it wouldn't worry me.
Brilliant. That is just such a cool for Cat's attitude. I like that. That is just so cool. See, that's down to your training of growing up with not a lot. It kind of it hardened you and makes you able to kind of, you know.
I don't know.
Been there once, do it again.
I'd miss things, but
you'd miss your telly, wouldn't you?
Well,
you'd miss your EastEnders and all that.
Maybe, but I could live without that.
Okay, I get another one here. This is from Soju, I think. This question is about community, and I get the sense that there was great levels of camaraderie and fellowship during the war. What were the kinds of associations or communities that you really identified with or felt a part of?
I used to go to a canteen voluntarily and for the troops and serve there with a friend of mine.
It was like a sort of soup kitchen type thing.
Well, not really. I think they charge for sandwiches and things.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember now. But and when I was in the ATS, the companionship there was great.
So was you with like you had your own sort of group, or?
Yes, more or less.
And I suppose the camaraderie there would have been.
Yeah, camaraderie was great.
So what did you do in the ATS then?
Oh, I was a typist.
Typist.
Well, it was the same as being a civilian, except that you paraded to work.
Right, okay.
And occasionally had odd parades for various things, and apart from that, it was the same as being a civilian. So we worked with civilians.
So did you have like basic training and like had to shoot a gun and things like that?
We did basic training before we went to wherever you were sent to. And
so what was basic training like?
Square bashing.
Oh really? I was just like drills and.
It was all right when you knew your right from your left, which I didn't do.
You had to like write it on your hand. So did you like learn to do weaponry and things like that?
No.
So you couldn't field strip an AK-47 blindfolded?
All I worked was a typewriter.
So that was your weapon, your typewriter. So when actually there was a question earlier about where were you? So once you had your was it a Pontefract? You did your basic training for how many weeks was that?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. And then you were then stationed off somewhere.
Yes.
So where were you stationed?
Chilwell, a place called Chilwell.
Chilwell, I've heard of Chilwell.
It's between Nottingham and Derby.
And then you were there for how long?
Oh, 2 years.
So that was just like in the typing pool.
Yes.
Excellent. So what was it like? I mean, that's 2 years of your life. What?
Oh, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So you got lots of
As I say, the
mates
camaraderie was good. In fact, two of my friends from the ATS were my bridesmaids.
All right. Okay. Well, when you got married to Dad, yeah. So, just trying to think, because you actually, so you lived in Chilwell. Sorry.
Yeah, it was a barracks, but it was good.
So you actually stayed on the barracks for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you didn't have like a house or anything like that.
Well, we stayed in a hut, but the place itself was built like a ship.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, it housed the library and lecture rooms and goodness knows what.
So it's like a little contained city, or a little town.
No, it was built like a ship. And
What you mean, like sort of had a sharp end and a blunt end and a? How do you mean?
Well, built like a ship. Oh, never mind.
I don't know. I'm curious. I can't vision it in my head, like a boat.
They probably pulled it down now.
So literally, you mean physically, literally,
Yes,
a ship.
Yes. When it was lit up at night, it looked like a ship.
and it was like a building.
Yes.
Oh blimey! Oh, that's unusual. Is it like bricks or wood or?
Oh, bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I've never heard of that before.